Black men are 2.5 times more likely to be killed by cops than white men.
They don't want us to succeed.
How much more do we have to take?
Yo, yo, yo. Line of tonight. The line of tonight is folks out here learning and discerning. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to the block. No block drop tonight. Just some straight talk about some shit. Really, it's been a long weekend for myself, actually. If y'all have been following the podcasts and episodes, I actually filmed from September 11th. There was an event called the Christiana Resistance that took place 170 years ago on that date, which was Black men and women fighting back towards slave owners, took back what was theirs, succeeded, tried for treason, got off. And of course, there's more to the story than that. Frederick Douglass and John Wilkes Booth do play significant roles in the story, as well as Thaddeus Stevens. And for those that are not privy to Lancaster County or Amish country history, he holds great prominence here, but he also holds great prominence in American history. So does this story of the Christiana Resistance. So if you want to do your research, come find me. Also, you can contact the Christiana Historical Society. You can also contact Darlene Colon, who is the founder and president of the society, and she also has a Facebook page. You can reach her there. I did film the event, so you can go back and check the footage of that as well. So today was a year from the date that Lancaster City Police here in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, shot and killed Ricardo Munoz, a 27-year-old young man that dealt with schizophrenia and bipolar, I believe. And they knew who he was. It's not like they didn't. And I'm not going to get into all of that kind of stuff. What I do want to talk about is how beautiful it was. How beautiful it was for the family to be able to express themselves, for Rulenis, Ricardo's sister, to be able to express herself and it be received and people be able to let them know that they're not alone. And I think that everything that was done was beautifully done. It was between Rulenis and Taylor Interline that put the vigil together, and I couldn't be more thankful. As you've heard in previous podcasts of mine, I do talk a lot about how this story in particular resonates with me, maybe more so than Dante Wright, Adam Toledo, Micaiah Bryant, George Floyd, Elijah McClain, Walter Wallace. This story really sticks with me, and I don't think it's just because I live here. It's more than that. So tonight was powerful in more ways than I could ever explain. One of the reasons I felt it was powerful was because I've begun to come full circle with a lot of things in my own personal life. But as I'm finding keywords here, learning and discerning my own path paths in my life, I'm noticing other things in my peripheral, right? And within the past week, five different people or five different people through other people have contacted me needing resources for shelter and help and a home. And y'all know what I talk about when I say home versus house. Everyone needs a home, especially a mental home. Everyone needs their mind to be at ease. Everyone needs to have that space. Home is where the heart is. Let's go back to that. So you can have a roof over your head and not have a home. You could be crashing on someone's couch and not have a home. You could feel like you're all right because it's summertime and you're chilling in your car every night, but you still don't have a home. And so today in particular, before the vigil, as myself and friends are setting up things, there was a two black individuals. One, I believe they were both transgender. I don't know, and I'm not assuming. I won't assume. But they did let me know that they were both queer. Um, and even if you weren't, I would still do everything in my power to help you out, you know? And I asked them, why does this always do this to me? Uh, I asked them why they could they what they were doing, and if they weren't busy, could they hang out, um, show love for Ricardo. They asked, what we were doing, so of course we told them. And after the vigil, I would connect them with some resources and things that I knew of. But my point here is how many BIPOC, how many black and brown queer people approach me with this situation. And I know it's not unique to Lancaster, but the conversation I want to bring up is like homelessness within queer BIPOC spaces, particularly trans spaces, because I see it all too common. I have someone I know also that is not homeless, but they're in a transitional housing right now. And so they are working and they're coming close to their goal of getting a roof over their head, but they are transgender. Uh, they're a transgender woman. And I think for them, they happen to be privileged and be in a situation where they have a loving family and people to lean on and rely on when things may get tough or really hard for them to deal with. But there are many, many, many other individuals who do not have that support network, and I feel for those people. I feel for y'all, and tonight really it sat with me. I sat here for a little bit before I jumped on here, and I exchanged numbers with them, and I text them, this is what I do, just checking in. I don't have much, obviously, but if I can connect them to people who do, that's the least that I can do, and that's the least anybody can do. I know times is really hard right now. A lot of people are facing a lot of things, but my focus right now in particular is on BIPOC queer people because they really need the help. BIPOC transgender folks really need the help. We need to find homes for people, not shelter, not just shelter, homes. They did let me know that they're okay. And I did give them resources for somewhere to go for the night. I don't know of resources beyond just night, or just one night. And that's the thing that really breaks me is people can lend help, and it's only but for so long, and then you kind of feel like you're back in the same position anyway, or like everyone just kind of faded away after that initial moment. And I know how that feels. I've been there. And so people that I've connected with and tried to help with, I try to stay in touch as much as possible. And I'm not saying this to say this is what you should do. I'm saying that this is what I do. I feel deeply, and I feel deeply for people, but I'm also learning to feel deeply for myself. I wouldn't feel deeply for others and act on it if I didn't feel deeply for myself first. And so I take these things to heart because I feel like I can take these things on. And when I feel like I can, I don't. And I've come to realize, for me personally, just pointing people in the right direction or connecting people with other people is something that I know that I can do for sure. And that's something a lot of us can do. Most of us can do in some way or fashion, whether it's just giving somebody a cup of water or like giving them $10 if you have it. Do it. Don't worry about what they're going to do with that money. It doesn't matter. It's not your business. It's their life, which is their business. I'm big on that because I've been there. I've told y'all these stories. Like, I haven't told y'all all my stories of homelessness, but I know on part one I did dive deep into stories that I've had of situations that I've been in, like in particular, the one where I was biking back and forth to 4 miles to Dunkin' Donuts to work and 4 miles back from Dunkin' Donuts to work from work. Why does it do this to me? Is it dead? And so I just hate that sound. It just bugs me. I That was a time in my life where I felt like the world wasn't I kind of felt like I was alone in the world, but well, at first, um, it really was people really showing me love and rallying around me that got me to change my perspective. And by the end of it, I wasn't so hopeless. By the end of it, I was actually extremely optimistic and kind of still loving life despite being in the situation that I was in. So much so that I still like clung on to life up there and found a place to. Wow, that's no bueno. I found a place to I found a place to stay. I got a place and tried to, stay afloat up there. But again, like I was still really struggling really bad. And those, again, learning and discerning. I was learning, but then I had to do the discerning and figure out that it was time for me to move on to other pastures. I wouldn't say greener pastures. I had to move to other pastures and nurture and water those grounds so that I could grow my own fruits in that area. I had to reestablish and replant my own foundations all over again. I literally had to start from scratch, and that took a while, and I'm still doing that. Like 5 years later. So my point is, like, I had a foundation. I had people to help me form my foundation, and some people don't. And some people don't have blood family, but they can get family. Um, People just need to be, I think people just need to be open to opening up their heart to people that are in need of that love and that leg up. The government ain't gonna do it for us, you know. Uh, a lot of people won't because of the way that they see things. But for the people who do see and understand this, I think it's almost a duty and a responsibility. If you know so, do so. You know. So that was my lesson, learning and discerning tonight. I learned a lot of lessons tonight, actually. A lot of personal things, a lot of things that brought me full circle. It's been a year since Ricardo was murdered, and a lot has happened, a lot has changed in Lancaster City, but a lot has not changed in Lancaster City. That's where we need to start. We need to make something change. Wow.